Now, this is important. The National Weather Service in Tampa says if Milton stays on its current path, which you see next to me, it could be the worst storm the city has seen in over a century. Now, I'm here because Vladimir Duthiers is there. Joins me now live from Tampa. And Vlad, I've been seeing, as you've been interviewing people, some who've decided to ride this storm out, although folks are telling everyone to evacuate. What are you experiencing now, and what are locals telling you?
Right. So, Errol, the interview that you're referencing is with a man named Joseph Malinowski. He goes by the name Jay. We met him yesterday afternoon on a little tiny sailboat, which you can see, which is not far from me in Hillsborough Bay. He rode out Hurricane Helene 2 weeks ago, and he says he slept through it. And he told me that his intention was to ride out Hurricane Milton, despite, as you know, the evacuation warnings that have gone out from everyone, from the president of the United States to the governor of Florida to the mayor of this city, Tampa. Now, in just the last hour or so, police officials from the city of Tampa have approached Mr. Malinowski, and they've tried to convince him not to stay on his boat. Sounds like he is potentially thinking about that because, as you know, Errol, this storm is still on track to be a Category 5 storm when it makes landfall. The danger and the vulnerability for the city of Tampa is storm surge. We're talking potentially storm surge of up to 15 feet. In my discussions yesterday with the mayor of Tampa, she told me if you decide to stay and risk your life in this storm by staying in your home, especially if you're in one of these homes that we were visiting yesterday, which are on the ground level of condo units, you are in danger. You will probably lose your life. She said, and I'm quoting, that will be your coffin. And so people have been evacuating. But one of the things that struck me, Errol, as we were making our way around Tampa yesterday was a number of piles of debris that we saw scattered in many of the communities here in Tampa and in St. Petersburg, Florida. And what that means is when when those potentially enormous wind gusts pick up, we're talking anywhere from 50 to 100-mile-an-hour wind gusts. When those wind gusts pick up, those pieces of debris, that pile of debris, is going to become lethal. They have the potential to become projectiles that smash into people's homes, smash into people's windows. They become themselves deadly weapons. And so that struck me right off the bat when I saw that. And, of course, just being on the water here and seeing the potential for flooding in this city, it's going to be horrific if the storm continues on its current path, Errol.
Vlad, you're no stranger to dangerous conditions as a longtime correspondent, but I just have to say it's eerie to see you at 10:30 in the morning and we're watching the sky get darker around you as this storm approaches you and the team. Please, of course, stay safe. We know you know how to do that, and we appreciate that update. Vlad, thank you very much. And we also want to mention this. Cities along Florida's Atlantic coast are bracing for the impact of Hurricane Milton. And Daytona Beach, we understand, has already issued curfews and set up shelters. There's one other piece of information just coming into our newsroom, which is that the National Weather Service now has confirmed a tornado in Broward County. Just one of the aspects of danger that this storm is bringing. CBS News correspondent Tom Hanson joins us now from Daytona Beach. Give us an update on conditions there, Tom.
Yeah, hey there, Errol. Well, as you can look out into the ocean, you can see that the surf is getting choppier and choppier, but this is nowhere close to what it's going to look like in about 12 hours. That is when the storm will start to hit this area. We will see impacts. And I want to mention one of the impacts that has authorities on high alert here. It's those wind speeds that you mentioned and the potential for these storms to spawn tornadoes, one that we have actually already seen in Broward County. And if you can pull up an image of that, I don't know if we have that, but that is a massive tornado that is tearing through communities there. People are being told to shelter in place. One thing I want to point out, I'm looking at the evacuation orders map on the Atlantic side right now. 3 counties are in red, which means that there are mandatory evacuations in place. St. John's, Flagler, and Volusia, where we are in Daytona Beach. Now, these are a variety of evacuation orders that are mandatory for us. It's everyone who's toward the ocean, in between the Intercoastal Highway and the ocean. They are being told to evacuate immediately. That includes this territory right here. But if you think about a hurricane as a massive tornado in and of itself, and then spawning mini tornadoes all around, those are the conditions that people are going to face, not just on the coast, but also inland. The other thing I want to point out, and I know Vlad mentioned this very briefly, but a lot of people get hung up on the categories of these hurricanes. That is just tracking the wind speed. It's also important to keep in mind the storm surge that these coastal communities will face, in addition to those dangerous winds. Those are not factored into the category of the storm. So on this side of Florida, we are expecting to see what could be downgraded to a Category 1, but that does not eliminate the danger for the storm surge. And of course, any of these hurricanes can spawn those deadly tornadoes on a moment's notice. So officials we've spoken to say that it is important to heed these warnings, have your emergency alerts turned on your phone. You can go into your settings, scroll all the way down to local alerts and government alerts, and make sure all of those are flipped on if you are in the path of this storm. Errol?
And Tom, what's so important about everything you've just shared is you're on the east coast of Florida. So these are the conditions in Daytona, this tornado in Broward County, which is next to Miami. This is the, so to speak, safe side of the state. It really underscores that everyone in Central Florida and throughout the state needs to be overly cautious and heed the warnings. We really appreciate you joining us. And of course, you and the crew stay safe. Hurricane Milton shuttering businesses as well for some of Florida's biggest attractions, as you might imagine. CBS News national correspondent Manuel Bojorquez joins us now from Orlando. We are really crisscrossing the state this hour to show you the different impacts of this storm. Manuel, how is this hurricane already having an impact on what would be tourist destinations otherwise?
Well, Errol, this airport is usually teeming with people, families, children here for the theme parks. But if you look behind me, you can see the TSA line is empty. It's quite eerie to see this. We haven't seen it really since the COVID days. And that's because Orlando's International Airport has decided that at 8 a.m. Eastern this morning, they would cease operations and not reopen until it's safe to do so. The other situation here is people trying to get gas, trying to fuel up ahead of the storm. At last check, 17% of Florida's gas stations were without fuel. And in fact, last night we saw that Florida Highway Patrol was actually escorting tanker trucks to gas stations along the evacuation route to try to replenish the supply as people are still seeking higher ground. But the window to do that, of course, is closing. You mentioned the theme parks. Disney's theme parks here in Orlando will stop operations at 1 this afternoon. Universal and SeaWorld also adjusting their hours, and likely the parks will close all day tomorrow. So you have a combination here in Orlando of not only the residents, but also visitors who may have not been able to evacuate in time, and evacuees coming from the West Coast who are filling up the hotels and shelters here, fleeing the storm surge. But they will still feel the impacts of the hurricane, because when it comes to the Orlando area, if it keeps on its track and with the intensity, it could still be a Category 2 when it hits here. Errol?
That's right. And the wind, the storm surge, the after effects, the power outages, there's just so much to this that could put lives at risk. Manuel Bojorquez, thank you for that update. And of course, please stay safe. We now want to bring in CBS News Philadelphia meteorologist Grant Gilmore following this storm. And I know that you want to break down for us, as part of what you're saying, the effect of storm surge as well and the waters.
Yeah, we'll talk about surge in just a second, and that's certainly the most concern with this storm as we go into the overnight hours into early tomorrow morning. Look, this storm, it's a good 210 miles away from Tampa Bay right now. But here's the thing, on that northeastern side of the storm, you see that threat for tornadoes, and we're starting to see that already develop this morning. In fact, already a confirmed tornado. We were just talking about it there in Broward County. Video and radar evidence showing that this storm produced a tornado. It was on the ground. It's tracking to the north up towards Palm Beach County, but there's also a couple of other tornado warnings here. Let me show you up towards Glades, Hendry, and Palm Beach County, an additional tornado warning. Concerned about this one. This one's showing quite a bit of rotation, and then a third tornado warning. So a lot going on in advance of the storm in the northeastern part of the storm as Milton tracks toward the coast. Again, biggest concern is going to be surge. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes, but we want to join in with live coverage of these tornadoes with CBS Miami. Here's the coverage.
Where there are folks indeed driving. I mean, we're in a state of emergency across the state of Florida right now. There are folks that are just traveling, evacuating because of Hurricane Milton. And we are going to continue to deal with the potential for more tornadoes like this to form. I mean, look at this image. This is incredible to see that clear view of the tornado. You can even see the debris at the bottom of the cyclone. And as we take a look, those clouds looking very dark and ominous. And you can see the cars driving by. I mean, you know, all depending on when it moved and crossed across Alligator Alley. Hopefully there was no one in its path. At least we don't know of yet any accidents, but we could see more of these tornadoes forming. And we're seeing the tornado warnings are in effect still for many parts of Broward County right now, the inland areas, right? We're talking about the Everglades. We can now under tornado warnings. Tropical storm warning too, by the way.
Was that the Miami feed or Miami?
CBS Miami reporting on the confirmed tornadoes in portions of Broward County. Meanwhile, a greater risk for tornadoes as Milton gets closer to the coast. You can see there across portions of central Florida, even up into portions of like Lakeland in Polk County, have a significant threat for these tropical tornadoes that tend to be relatively brief and relatively weak, but they can still certainly cause quite a bit of damage. And then, of course, you've got the big show with Hurricane Milton out to the south and west, already beginning to see near tropical storm force winds in Venice right now with those initial rain bands beginning to arrive. Looks like it makes landfall tonight, overnight, as a Category 4 hurricane. It traverses the peninsula as a hurricane, though weakening, and it'll then move into the Atlantic Ocean. Those tropical storm force winds extend out nearly 200 miles from the center of the storm, and at some point we'll start to see those tropical storm force winds nearly take over the entire state as those hurricane conditions arrive. And then the most immediate threat to life and property is going to be the storm surge. We've seen this shift slightly to the south a little bit, with the track shifting slightly to the south. Portions of Tampa Bay still potentially up to 12 feet of surge, but Errol, the big concern, I mean, 10 to 15 feet of surge. That's incredible. That could take out two-story homes, and that's why they're urging everyone to evacuate if there's still time, which, Errol, there is not a lot of time left. They're already beginning to see those tropical storm force winds arrive right now.
That's right, Grant, and I'm still stunned at that footage from the tornado in Broward County. You warned us that that could be part of this storm. We're seeing it already, and the hurricane has not made landfall yet. Grant, thank you very much.